If you like the content that we're producing, George, stop laughing. Please subscribe to the Raging Moderates YouTube channel. Scott and I are loving this and having so much fun reacting to news stories as they come out. And, Scott doesn't actually like a lot of things in life, but he enjoys this. So be part of the Raging Moderates community, and I'll see you soon. And now here's my conversation with George Hahn. Welcome to Raging Moderates. I'm Jessica Tarlov, and I'm joined today by my friend, writer, actor, and the voice you know from the No Mercy, No Malice podcast in the Prof G universe, George Hahn. George, it's so good to have you here.
Jessica, thank you so much for asking.
Oh, yeah. Asking you to come, not just how are you? I didn't even say how are you. How are you?
Well, now that you asked that, I'm okay.
We got stuff to talk about, though.
Yeah, we do.
We got big news over the weekend from right here in New York City, where we both reside. Mayor Eric Adams has ended his re-election campaign just weeks before voters head to the polls. Little late, my friend. He's still on the ballot, but between mounting scandals and the loss of millions in campaign funds, he's stepping aside. That leaves Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani as the main contenders. Let's take a look at how Mamdani reacted to the news.
In just over 5 weeks, we will turn the page on the politics of big money and small ideas and deliver a government every New Yorker can be proud of. And to Andrew Cuomo, you got your wish. You wanted Trump and your billionaire friends to help you clear the field. But don't forget, you wanted me as your opponent in the primary too. And we beat you by 13 points. Looking forward to doing it again on November 4th. Hope you're well.
Hope you're well is such a sick burn at the end there, right?
It's like, yeah, I want to give him a saucer of milk. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised that Adams actually dropped out?
I was surprised he didn't do it sooner. I mean, Summer just puts thought on hold. I mean, it's when he did it. And then when the news came out, 5 weeks till 5 weeks. Wow. It's coming up fast. So the short answer to your question is, I was not surprised he did it. I'm just surprised about when. Yeah, I thought it was going to come sooner.
Right, but that made me then think that it wasn't going to come. And
Right.
I said, I was on Fox News Sunday yesterday, and we were talking about the race. And I said, the time has passed for you egomaniacs to get out of the way. For all of you who purport to care about the city and think that Mamdani is some huge risk, like Andrew Cuomo talked about Labor Day. We're past that at this point. And Adams had been dug in, though apparently flirting with the idea of taking a Trump administration role if that were available to him. I guess the ambassadorship to Saudi was floated. I don't know if any of that comes to fruition. Do you think that Trump's team had anything to do with this, or he just thought there's no chance that I win and I have no money to keep going?
I think it was B. But my spidey sense says B, that he just kind of looked at everything on the table and went, you know what, this is really not feasible. Let me just, before it gets too embarrassing for me, I'm going to say thanks. I'm going to tap out. Yeah.
So Mamdani now has an 83% chance to win. That's not much increased odds. Cuomo might get a couple points of a bump from Adams dropping out, but this race, it doesn't change that much. Were you surprised by the tone that Mamdani took in his video? I mean, I didn't expect him to be generous about Eric Adams, and I want to talk about Hakeem Jeffries' response to Adams dropping out, but it was like full on
Sassy.
Aggressive there. Yeah.
He was sassy.
He was sassy.
I would say
sassy Mamdani.
Yeah, he came to that desk on camera sassy. No, I wasn't. Mamdani is a different sort of fresh, exciting product, for lack of a better word, for voters in New York City, particularly young voters. He's young, and he brings a certain je ne sais quoi to the table, if you will. And so, no, that tone doesn't surprise me at all.
It felt, as someone who was not particularly into Mamdani's campaign, I have, since he won the primary, been enjoying him a lot more. I kind of gave myself over to what other people were seeing in him. It's not so much about a policy platform, but the way that he conducts himself and the spirit of we need to do something new. What we have been doing for a very long time has not been working. And in particular, I was thinking about his answer in the first debate when he was asked who is the greatest mayor of New York City. And he said Bill de Blasio, which, like, for those of us who live here, I don't know anyone who would have answered that. And his rationale was that Bill de Blasio delivered universal pre-K. And as a parent of little people and a daughter going into the public school system and taking stock of the conversations that I'm having with my friends all the time, it is, and we do well, right? By city standards, it's all about affordability and that having access to that extra year, and in some cases, 2 years. Some people get to go for universal 3K, so their kids can go when they're 3 years old, is make or break for so many people. And I look at that answer completely differently now, the de Blasio answer, and I think about what a big accomplishment that was. And it makes me more optimistic, I guess, about what is to come.
Yeah. The more I think about the mayoral race in general, it's not about the sexy stuff, really. At least it's not for me. It's the little things. What spoke to you was universal pre-care as a parent. I am a childless spinster, so my mind doesn't really go there. For me, I'm thinking about, clean up the subway, make it run on time. Can we do something about the rats? It's not sexy stuff. And of course, the cost of things that should really be at the top of my list. As we sit here today, there's a story in New York City news, the price of avocados. It's getting ridiculous. So the cost of things, yeah. But no, I am surprised about that answer of de Blasio. De Blasio would not have been my choice. No, I would have had a different choice. I didn't vote for Mamdani in the primary, full disclosure, because I was not, I'm not one of the youngs, but I'm not old.
Yeah.
I just thought Cuomo was a brand we all recognized and semi-trust, kind of, sort of, maybe enough. I don't know.
Well, there was this feeling that he could do the job. And when people were not necessarily excited about their options, they were going for that. And there was concern and continues to be concern, especially amongst the Jewish community, which is a huge population of New York City, biggest outside of Tel Aviv, that Mamdani has not been satisfying, I guess, the concerns there, though he has been making great strides, I would say, in that direction, certainly from when he was running in the primary, but it's still top of mind. I don't know if you saw this, but Donald Trump Truth Social this morning and said, if Mamdani wins, I'm going to withhold federal funds. We pay more out than we take in from the federal government here in New York City. We're all paying 50%, basically, it feels like. What do you think the impact, if anything, of Donald Trump inserting himself even further into the race is going to be?
I don't think Donald Trump is popular among New Yorkers. In fact, New York, more than any other place in the U.S., New York is the one place where people are more familiar with and kind of tired of and not fond of Trump and his shenanigans. He's been in the news since the 80s here. I don't know anybody. I know a good amount of people. I don't know anybody who has anything good to say about him. Not one person I know here in New York. So whether or not that's, I think, a blessing from Trump in this city.
You think it all helps him?
I don't think it's a plus. This is this vengeance tour. He's just mad when people don't like him or aren't nice to him,
Yeah. Do you think he will be trying to help out Cuomo? Because, we do know that a lot of Cuomo's backers and funding is coming from the right-leaning orbit.
Cuomo is an animal with whom he has more identification. Trump, Mamdani to Trump is this weird, I'll say it again, that word product is a very exotic, weird product for Trump and probably doesn't really know how to sort of compute Zohran and what he has to offer and what he's saying. Mamdani has a resonance with a certain group that Trump just doesn't. Trump is just this old sort of fossil. And Cuomo, not as extremely, I would say. These are all feelings, not facts, by the way. But Cuomo just sort of feels old, not interesting, tired.
Well, he also didn't try. And
Correct.
If you don't try, you don't deserve to win. And that's kind of where I come down on all of this. I wish it were true that there were less young people that were into Trump. Obviously, the dynamics of the city have shifted a lot looking at the 2024 election. We'll see if they kind of swing back to the norm for the midterms. But it does seem like full steam ahead for Mamdani. And, it'll be interesting to see if Eric Adams pops up with a different kind of job and we can connect the dots there. But that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining me, George.
Jessica, thank you for asking. Great to be here.